The Supreme Court has held as far back as in 2017 that the mere establishment of forgery simplica on the face of it is sufficient enough to issue an order disqualifying the candidate from that election. Well, TINÜBÜ owns the judiciary, so the court will tell us that it is a pre-election matter. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Everyday People's Voice. If this is your first time of coming across our channel, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you all, my people, for tuning in. With the evidences available and explanation given by the registrar of the Chicago State University, it is clear that TINÜBÜ's case is not a case of forgery, but an error committed by the third party that reissued the certificate after the initial loss of the original one, which is human error. My country people, make una hear wetin government dey talk. Anyway, make una watch this video wey I wan play for una. Make una watch am reach the end. Make una get the detailed explanation and how TINÜBÜ go take vacate Aso Rock with immediate effect. Make una waste una time. Make una be like say me. Make una watch this video.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in Abuja on Thursday over the case of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic records. During the press conference, Atiku paid homage to the late Gani Fawemi, who had in 1999 sued TINÜBÜ for allegedly lying under oath that he attended Government College Ibadan and Chicago State University. Atiku stated that Fawemi can now rest in peace as the fight that he started over 23 years ago has finally come to fruition. Atiku also gave credence to David Hundeyin and other journalists for stepping in when other arms of government failed.
I wish to pay tribute to the late human rights activist, Chief Gani Fawemi, senior advocate of Nigeria, who inspired us on this path of discovery. Now he can truly rest in peace in the assurance that what he started about 23 years ago has come to fruition. Gani's vindication today gives credence to the saying that no matter how fast a lie runs, the truth will someday overtake it. From exposing the Watergate scandal and unraveling the dubious certificates of politicians, journalists have maintained eternal vigilance by bridging the gap and stepping in when other arms of government failed. It is for these reasons that commendation must be given to David Hundeyin, an independent journalist whose extraordinary work and those of many more young people like him has become a source of inspiration.
All right, let's take some reactions. This is from Bayo Ononuga. His caption reads, "Yet again, Atiku Abubakar beats his tattered drum of shame. The All Progressives Congress is unfazed by the press conference addressed by former Vice President and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, earlier today. The press conference lacked purpose and delivered nothing except for the pitiful regurgitation of lies, mindless distortion, and deliberate falsehood in his infantile obsession with the academic record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We believe Atiku should have known better than to demonstrate gross contempt of the highest court by making public comments on the matter that he has submitted to the court for education. The major takeaway from his Yaradua Center show, especially at question time, was that Atiku harbors deep animosity towards TINÜBÜ, whom he believes was responsible for his electoral woes in 2007, 2015, 2019, and this year. Well, Mr. Ononuga went further to provide details of the deposition by Caleb Westberg, the registered witness of the Chicago State University, some of which we have already discussed here. Let me take his seventh point. He made about seven. Ononuga wrote again, There is also no part of Mr. Westberg's deposition where he said that the certificate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented to INEC for his election is fake or forged. All the insinuation and innuendos in this regard are pure mischief and should be disregarded. President Tinubu could not have forged a university degree he honorably earned, because there is no advantage to derive from such and no incentive to do so. Well, Kalu, counsel to Atiku Abubakar, during the press conference on Thursday, claimed that the findings from the deposition at the U.S. court showed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu forged the certificates he presented to INEC. He also stated that there is a discrepancy in the name written on the National Youth Service Corps certificate submitted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the Independent National Electoral Commission.
On the certificates issued or released by Chicago State University to the lawyers of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. These are the documents. One, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu forged the certificate he presented to INEC. That's one. Two, that the qualifying certificate from Southwest College to Chicago State University bears a female, indicating that that document does not belong to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Three, the Chicago State University admission application form has a claim that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970, when indeed the school was established in 1974. The same document has it that the owner of that document is a black American, and the document Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC, he denied having dual citizenship, which means it does not belong to him. Then, the same document, oral deposition, says that the A, Bola A Tinubu, is Ahmed, but the NYSC certificate Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC has Adekunle. I don't know where the Adekunle and the Ahmed emerged from.
All right, this lawyer's revelation, more revelation, caused a lot of reactions. You know now, social media is not going to rest when they hear that. You know what people did? They went to pull up Festus Keyam's tweet. Let me read his tweet there. He wrote, and this was in 2019, by the definition of school certificate or its equivalent in Section 318 of the 1999 Constitution, you don't need a WAEC certificate to become president or governor. But if you present a forged WAEC or other certificate to INEC for any office, you will be disqualified. Well, in response to Keyamo, Daniel Boala wrote, all the factual and legal points that Festus Keyamo raised and argued about Tinubu's certificate forgery from High Court to Supreme Court are the points haunting Tinubu's legitimacy today. All the tweets that Festus Keyamo made in 2019 to defend Buhari's certificate are the tweets killing Tinubu's defenses today. Keyamo to Tinubu is what Maguire is to Man United. Didn't I tell you? Kokoro Tonjefo, Inu Efo Lowa. Yes, you can't play. You can't play with me. No, I had to go there, but that Daniel Wallace tweet was. But isn't it true, Ayo? I want to come to you on this one because I mean Daniel Wallace really just hit the nail on the head there. Yes. Because the whole point is about the fact that whether Tinubu forged the certificate or not, but we know that the case is in court.
Yeah.
So there's no evidence until it's proven, because obviously all we have is a deposition.
Yes.
I mean, a transcript. And so it needs to be investigated like the lawyers have said.
Yeah.
Ayo.
Wow, so many things. A busy day yesterday. I don't even know where to start.
Yes.
We've had, quite a detailed conversation, as you alluded to, when we were speaking about this story. But to Chief Bayo Ononuga's tweet and Mr. Festus Keyamo's old tweet. By the way, they say he's been quite quiet. Maybe his ministry must be very tasking.
Oh, he's going to come with it.
Because we haven't heard a lot from him. The only thing we can see are his old tweets. He hasn't responded, and it is very unlike him. Yes. So I have to mention that. Yeah. Usually he's very quick to respond. But on the issue on ground, yesterday's press conference gave the Atiku camp an opportunity for the first time himself, that's Waziri Abubakar Atiku, to speak to these issues. And he had talked about the fact that he was doing it based, and as we've said a number of times, beyond the law, on issues of morality. We're talking about the seat of the president. It ought to be honorable. So for the sake of truth, and because the Nigerian people deserve to know the truth, this has to be pursued till the very end. And in his own estimation, the very end is until the Supreme Court rules, right? Now, Mr. Festus Keyamo saying that his tweet about, a former tweet, just demonstrates again to us that it depends on which side of the divide you're sitting on. That's what then makes your that makes what you tilt towards. He says that he has given us the definition clearly, and so except he wants to go against what he says he made a mistake or he didn't interpret the law properly, he has already answered the question for APC.
Yes.
Now, another thing is that I want to talk to the insinuations and innuendos that Chief Bayo Ononuga spoke about. And that's why it's clear to say there are insinuations as well from the other camp in terms of parties stating that, the certificate was gotten from third party, when there's nothing, absolutely nothing like that in the deposition.
Yes,
that has to be
I showed
clear.
you guys. I actually did go to the Chicago State University.
Yes,
you can click on the link there and you can order your diploma online.
So just to mention that we need to debunk that, because
Yes.
that news has, a lot of people are quoting it, it's been going on, and that they have taken it as the truth. It is it's not, it doesn't exist at all. So just to mention that in eras of insinuations and innuendos, they themselves must be careful to not give insinuations and innuendos around the facts of the matter, and just present facts to the people. At the end of the day, like you said, Oji, the Supreme Court will rule. But what is important to Nigerians is that the truth has to be said.
Yes.
Irrespective of the outcome, the truth ought to be said.
Yes.
It is important. Let's call it yo-yoing. It's a distraction. It's not a distraction. This is critical matter.
Absolutely.
Whatever happens, it has international impact for Nigeria.
Yes.
It has impact on even our younger people. Who are examples? What do we see in terms of people whether having real certificates or not, who are in power?
Truly a subject of national importance. But I want to go back on that fact of going to Chicago State University to get your degree. I want to take a story before I come to you, Rufai. In the meantime, a short clip where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu addressed an elite audience at the Chatham House in London in December last year, in which he confirmed that Chicago State University provided him with an original copy of his certificate. Is making the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
I've had a very good exposure in life. My record is consistent. And the school and the university, they question. They now convinced that they wasted their money and their time. Equally, it remains the same. Deloitte, Chicago State University, where I graduated, has attested to that. Now I can announce that I've received my original replacement degree certificate from them.
All right, Rufai, that was last year in 2022. He says that he received his original degree certificate from Chicago State University.
Oji, it is sad at a time like this. I have to do my job as a journalist. When I'm a journalist, I stick to the truth. In fact-checking all what the president has said, they're all false. As we speak, Chicago State in that deposition said nothing of such. In fact, it was the replacement certificate they gave a narrow Eba. It is a narrow Eba that has that replacement certificate, not the president. That statement, false. Second statement, Deloitte He said, if you go and check Deloitte, Deloitte was subpoenaed by Enahu Reba, and they said they don't know anybody in the fashion of the president. The statement again, false. What's the other thing he said there as regards, I think it was just only those two claims. Everything was false, what he said in that. I'm sorry I have to do this, but I have to do my job as a journalist by fact-checking. It's not of the truth at all.
Okay, Rufai, I have to make it clear, though. We have to be sure, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, the case has to be investigated. And, you know, this comment we're making, wait, let me just say, this comment we're making is a statement that was made by Westberg, who is the witness at the Chicago State University. So he just made those statements.
So very good. That's what I say.
So we need to be factual in terms of comparing those and doing the investigation and making sure that he's been found guilty of forgery.
I understand and I appreciate what you said, but based on the evidence we have at hand, and I'll give you factual analysis. Enahu Reba subpoenaed Deloitte. Let me check for that. I think I have to read verbatim from that. I have to get that document somewhere where Deloitte expressly, okay, I'm coming. Deloitte expressly stated, because I wanted to read the letter verbatim, expressly stated that they denied it, that they did not know, you know, what he said as regards, you know, working with them and all of that. It's part of the depositions that Enahu Reba put down, and it's pure and it's simple. Maybe as we go on within the show,
you'll find it. Yes.
I want to read the exact letter that Deloitte did send.
Okay.
You know, as regards that. So,
but you were going to make a comment right before I took
so as regards
statement.
So as regards all of this,
regards
all of this, just clearing what was said at Chatham House. As regards all of this, in moving forward, one thing is of the essence, and like everybody has said, it is still the courts that will rule on all of these things.
Yeah.
And let us call a spade a spade. It is still the court that will rule on all of these things. And it is the court that will make the decision. Yes, I have it.
Great.
September 20, 2022 is a response to Leigh, Essenberg and Franklin Limited. Attention, Matthew J. Calls. That was the lawyer through which Enahu Reba subpoenaed. This is with Deloitte's logo. And it said Deloitte LLP, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York. He said, Dear Mr. Qualls, we released a subpoena dated 16th September 2022 seeking employment record for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, SSN 059 DOB, blah, 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 blah. Please be advised that we have no record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in our systems, and we have no such employment records for them.
And this is Deloitte?
Yeah, this is Deloitte.
Okay.
Signed by Tish Negron, senior legal specialist. These were part of the documents in the deposition by Enahu Reba. So that's from the context at which I gave you facts
that you gave
for the
me
matter.
Those comments.
But in all of this, let's wait for the court, you know, to be able to rule as regards all of this. There's been many discrepancies across both sides. And I also want to say for the upton time, there was in no place in the deposition that a third party was mentioned as granting certificates in that deposition by CSU. We have to reiterate that because we have a right to inform our audience.
Absolutely.
And on this network, the facts lead. So that's why when I made a claim just now, I brought out the facts.
Good.
Second claim I made as regards CSU, I brought out the fact by saying it is with Enahu Reba, and it was also written clearly in the deposition.
Yeah, so I mean, in all of this, at the end of the Kayode, the Nigerian public want to know the truth, whether or not our president forged his certificate quickly, so we can take our final story.
Well, for me, I would end with what I started with, which is Nigerians, especially our young people, say my truth, your truth, they're different, but the bottom line is there is a truth that is consistent. There are truths that you can point to from those who are members of APC, including the one that we had on the show this morning, that they're saying the truth. Did he attend the university or not? Even the school confirmed that he attended, and that is the truth. And they can hold on to that and say, for that reason, nobody should raise any other issue. On the other hand, the other issue is the document. Was it emanating from the institution that is called CSU?
Well,
the CSU said it is not from them.
Not from them.
So whether you now want to call it fake or forged or fraudulent or any other name, that is going to be the court that makes the final decision on it, and that is somebody's truth.
Yes.
So we have to find which one is the absolute truth that is incontrovertible.
Yes. Right. All right. We don't have much time, but I also wanted to raise that point Atiku made earlier when he, praised Gani Fawehinmi. I thought that was such an important point that he made because obviously this case has been going on for years, and we're hoping that we're going to see the end of it sooner than later. Again, may his soul rest in peace. Gani Fawehinmi was a great addition to our Nigerian history.